The city of Crestwood was the definition of ordinary, a place of predictable streets and quiet routines. Its heart was an unremarkable intersection at Maple Drive and 4th Street, governed by a traffic light that had cycled through its colors for decades. It was here at 7:14 on a crisp Tuesday morning that the ordinary shattered. The vehicle was a Jefferson County school bus, number 42. Its yellow paint was faded, its interior smelled of vinyl and cereal. It was driven by Arthur Pembleton, a 68-year-old retired mechanic with a kind heart and a deep familiarity with his route. The bus carried 22 children, from drowsy teenagers to energetic middle schoolers, all lost in their own worlds. As the bus eased to its customary stop at the long red light, Arthur set the parking brake. He glanced in his oversized mirror. Liam had his headphones on. His sister Chloe was organizing her pens. In the back, a group of boys were arguing over a video game. Sarah stared out the window, dreaming. It was a perfect snapshot of a normal morning. Then the silence fell, not a quietness, but an absolute profound void of sound. The distant hum of the city vanished. Arthur saw the woman across the street walking her dog, but the animal's yapping was gone. The man sipping coffee was frozen mid-motion. Inside the bus, time stopped. Liam's music died. Chloe's pens hung in the air, defying gravity. The boys were frozen in a static shove. Arthur tried to turn his head, but his muscles were locked. A tremendous, silent pressure filled the cabin, pressing in from all sides. Outside, the world began to unravel. The colors of the houses and the mail truck bled together like wet watercolors. The street itself dissolved into transparency, revealing a deep, starless blackness beneath. The traffic light flickered, its red lens stretching into a thin, spiraling thread of light before snapping into nothingness. The bus lurched not from movement, but from the ground ceasing to exist. Arthur, paralyzed, watched as reality was peeled away until only the bus remained, adrift in an infinite, dark sea. Then the bus itself began to fade. The solid steel turned to glass, then to mist. He could see the terrified faces of the children, frozen in time, and then he saw nothing at all. At 7:15 a.m., the intersection of Maple and 4th was empty. The traffic light turned green. The man with the coffee, Ben, blinked. His mind struggled to process the skip. The bus had been there, now it was not. He looked at the woman with the dog, who was staring at the same empty space, her hand to her mouth. The mailman stood in the street, his face a mask of confusion. There were no screams, only a shared, silent horror. The first 911 call was disjointed. There was a school bus. It's gone. Officer Maria Garcia was the first on the scene. No skid marks, no debris. It was clean. The search began with pragmatic efficiency, but by 8:30 a.m., the dread set in. Detective Miles Henderson took over the case. The traffic camera footage was definitive. It showed the bus approaching, stopping, and sitting for 53 seconds. Then, at 7:54 a.m., it vanished. Not an explosion, not a sinkhole. One frame it was there, the next it was gone. The video was authentic. The bus had dematerialized. The story exploded. Crestwood became a place of mystery. The intersection became a pilgrimage site for conspiracy theorists and mourners. The families of the missing were trapped in a special hell of unanswered questions. Liam and Chloe's parents kept their rooms perfectly preserved. Sarah's mother would drive to the intersection daily, staring at the light. Henderson chased every lead. He interviewed residents, dug up the intersection, investigated Arthur and the children. He found nothing. The official investigation, after exhausting all logical explanations, slowly ground to a halt. The case went cold. The world moved on. But the story was not over. Arthur's first sensation was a low, resonant hum vibrating in his skull. The pressure receded, and he gasped a ragged breath. The air was cool and sterile. The bus was intact, sitting on a surface of softly glowing white that stretched to a horizon, lost in pearlescent mist. There was no sun, no sky, only a sourceless light. A whimper broke the silence. The children were unfreezing. The pens clattered to the floor. The boys stumbled. Panic erupted. "Where are we? My phone has no signal. I want to go home." Arthur stood, his instincts overriding his fear. "Everyone, stay calm, stay in your seats." But his voice echoed in the unnatural quiet. The engine started, but the bus wouldn't move. They were trapped. The first day passed in a blur of fear. When the light dimmed to a twilight grey, they huddled together, unable to sleep. On the second day, Chloe pointed out the window. In the distance, a shape was forming in the mist, a tall, slender, geometric structure. Its edges seemed to shift and flow. Soon others appeared. A silent, ghostly city was assembling itself around them. Over time, the city solidified. They saw streets of glowing white and buildings of impossible architecture, spiraling towers, bridges to nowhere. They discovered they were not alone. 100 yards away, a single oak tree stood. Further out, a pristine 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air and a chunk of cobblestone street with a flickering gas lamp. It was a graveyard of lost things. A week in, the other inhabitants emerged. A man named Eli from 1958 stepped from the Chevy. A woman named Eleanor from 1894 London appeared from behind the tree. They were cautious but drawn together by their shared predicament. "This place, it collects," Eli explained, his voice rough. "We don't know why." "Is there a way back?" Arthur asked, desperate. Eleanor shook her head, her eyes full of ancient sadness. "We have never found one. The city is empty, a memory. Life in the stillness became a new routine. The bus was their home. The children adapted with stunning resilience. They found a spring of water and foraged for glowing fungi. Sarah, the dreamer, began to draw the city, her sketches becoming maps. She felt it held a pattern, a language. Months passed. The community grew slightly. A WWI pilot, a hiker from the 70s. They shared stories and clung to fading hope. One day, Chloe found a symbol etched into the street, a circle bisected by a line. It was familiar. On the traffic light, Liam realized. It was the manufacturer's insignia from the light at Maple and Fourth. It was a connection, a thread home. That night, Sarah had a breakthrough. Her maps revealed the city was a mirror, a distorted architectural echo of Crestwood. The spiral tower was where their school stood. Their bus was parked on the reflection of the very intersection where they had vanished. The discovery ignited frantic energy. They searched the mirror intersection for a way out, but found nothing. "It was the green light," Liam theorized. "It gave us permission to come here. Maybe it can give us permission to leave." "Then we make one," Sarah said. Their plan was a desperate Hail Mary. They scavenged materials, glass from the Chevy's headlights, a generator from the biplane. They built a crude, tripod-mounted lantern with a green lens. On what felt like a momentous day, they positioned their makeshift traffic light at the center of the mirrored intersection. The entire community watched, breathless. Liam connected the wires to the generator. "Ready?" Arthur, by the bus door, nodded. He looked at the children's hopeful faces and thought of home. Liam cranked the generator. A beam of brilliant emerald green light pierced the mist. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the pressure returned, focusing on the light. "Start the engine!" Liam yelled. Arthur turned the key and slammed the bus into drive. The world unraveled in reverse. The white ground became asphalt. The ghostly buildings bled away, replaced by familiar houses and trees. Sound and color rushed back with a roar. Arthur's eyes were fixed ahead on the intersection of Maple and Fourth. The light was green. He stomped on the accelerator. The bus lurched forward onto solid pavement. He drove 2 blocks before pulling over, shaking. Cheers, sobs, and screams of relief filled the bus. Liam had a phone signal. They were home. Their return was a miracle that became a mystery. Their consistent, unbelievable story was explained away as a mass hallucination from a gas leak. The real changes were internal. The children carried a wisdom beyond their years. Liam became a physicist, Chloe an architect, Sarah a writer. Arthur never drove again, forever haunted by the ones he left behind. The intersection of Maple and Forth remains. But sometimes, on foggy mornings, people report a faint greenish glow. And if you stand there alone, late at night, you might just hear it. A low, resonant hum. A whisper from a place where lost things wait. End narration.